When my husband was hooked up to machines, fighting for his life, I begged my manager for just 3 days off. She crossed her arms, smiled, and said, "Work comes first, Lisa. Don't make this emotional." That moment changed me forever, because a few months later, I became the reason she lost everything she built. If you've ever been treated like you don't matter at work, if you've ever been made to choose between your family and your job, then this story will hit you hard. So grab your coffee, because this isn't just another office story. It's about empathy, cruelty, and the sweetest revenge that came back full circle. My name's Lisa Harper. I used to work as a senior administrative coordinator in a well-known logistics firm in Chicago. I was there for almost 9 years. Loyal, reliable, the office mom, you know? Never late, never caused drama. But life has a way of testing your patience, and mine came in the form of my manager, Dana Caldwell, the kind of woman who smiled with her teeth, but never with her eyes. She was all about image. Polished suits, clipped tone, and that sharp perfume you could smell before she even entered the room. If a deadline was met, it was because she guided us. If something went wrong, it was our fault. I used to think she was just tough, until the day I truly needed compassion. It was early April, and my husband Mark started complaining about chest tightness. He'd been overworked too, managing construction projects, barely sleeping. One night, while I was finishing up a report at the kitchen table, he clutched his chest and collapsed. Ambulance, sirens, ICU. Just like that, my world spun. The doctor said he had a massive cardiac arrest, and the next 72 hours were critical. I barely slept that night, but I knew what I had to do. Call my boss first thing in the morning. When I called Dana the next morning, my voice was shaking. "Dana, I'm so sorry, but my husband, he's in critical condition. I need to take emergency leave. I'll keep you updated." She paused, not out of concern, out of irritation. "Lisa, I understand it's hard, but you know the new client rollout starts tomorrow. We can't afford to lose coordination right now." I said, "I'll hand everything off to Jenna. She knows the files." "No," she cut me off. "You're the only one who can handle it cleanly. Can't you just come in for a few hours? Hospitals have visiting hours, right?" I froze. She wasn't serious. She was. "Work comes first, Lisa. You can't let emotions cloud your responsibilities." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I tried reasoning. I begged, but she didn't budge. That morning, I sat in my car outside the hospital, staring at my phone, feeling torn in two. A wife's love versus a paycheck. And, like a coward, I chose the job, just for that day. I worked my shift like a ghost. Half my brain was in the ICU. When I left the office, my hands were trembling. By the time I reached the hospital, the doctor's face told me everything. I was too late to say goodbye. Mark was gone. My body went numb. I couldn't scream, couldn't cry. Just silence. The next morning, Dana emailed me, "Please submit your remaining files by end of day. We can discuss bereavement leave after the week." That's when something inside me snapped. I wasn't angry. Not yet. But I was awake. After the funeral, I returned to work. People whispered condolences. Dana gave me a fake smile and said, "I hope you're ready to get back to normal." Normal. Nothing was normal anymore. I worked quietly for weeks, watching her, listening. I noticed things, little mistakes, small manipulations, and lies. She constantly exaggerated her role in client meetings and quietly took credit for others' work, including mine. But the real kicker? She had been misreporting overtime hours and taking small bonuses for herself from project budgets. She thought no one noticed. But I did. So I started documenting everything. Emails, time logs, financial inconsistencies. I had access to all of it because of my position in administration. About 2 months later, the company started preparing for a major audit. The CEO, Mr. Garrison, was strict about transparency. I knew this was my moment. Dana was panicking, trying to clean up files, deleting emails, and making new spreadsheets. I quietly backed everything up before she could. Then I scheduled a private meeting with the internal auditor and forwarded every piece of evidence I had collected. I didn't lie. I didn't exaggerate. Just presented the truth, cold and clean. They thanked me for cooperation. 2 weeks later, the company launched a full internal investigation. One morning, Dana walked into the office looking pale. She'd been called upstairs. Everyone knew something was wrong. 3 hours later, security escorted her out of the building, box in hand, tears in her eyes. Turns out she'd not only been caught for falsifying reports, but also violating ethical codes and misusing company funds. Her "work comes first" motto didn't save her this time. A few days later, the CEO called me into his office. I was nervous. I thought I'd be blamed somehow. Instead, he said, "Lisa, your honesty and loyalty saved this company a huge problem. We'd like to offer you Dana's position." I didn't cry, but I smiled for the first time in months. Now, years later, I still keep Mark's photo on my desk. Every time I see it, I remember 2 things. Never let anyone make you choose between love and labor. And revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's just the truth with perfect timing. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Comment below. Have you ever had a boss who thought your pain didn't matter? And of course, subscribe for more real stories where karma does what HR can't.